It's time for a crash course in terror at the dorm that dripped blood.
Great.
What's wrong? The phone's dead.
Did you hear anything up on the roof?
Do you think we need to go up there?
Need to? We don't need to do anything.
The dorm that dripped blood, where the only thing you'll learn is how to die. The dorm that dripped blood, rated R.
Hey guys, what's up, Communications? Welcome back to another review, this time of The Dorm That Dripped Blood, aka Pranks, aka Death Dorm. This movie has like 3 titles: The Dorm That Dripped Blood, Pranks, and Death Dorm, which is the one, which is the title that this copy of the film is titled. This is the uncensored director's cut from Synapse Films. This is a Blu-ray DVD combo pack that was sent to me by CampbellFan22, and it's definitely a movie that I thought was okay. I thought it was an okay slasher. I definitely liked it a lot more than some of my peers did, that's for sure. But I wouldn't say it's great. I wouldn't say it's underrated, and I wouldn't say it's particularly the most memorable slasher. But I would say that I thought it was all right, mainly because I thought there were some elements to it that I thought were unique and thought were well done, especially cinematography. That was some really good cinematography by Stephen Carpenter. The lighting was really well done. They did a great job lighting the film. Really added a great sense of mood and a creepy atmosphere to the film. And I thought the screenplay by Stacy Giacchino and Jeffery Obrow was Stacy Giacchino and Stephen Carpenter was decent. I thought the direction was pretty good for first-time directors Stephen Carpenter and Jeffery Obrow, who I remember the most for their film The Kindred, which is one of my personal favorites, to be honest. And excellent score by Christopher Young. Very creepy, very well done. I think it was right up there with the likes of Harry Manfredini's scores, for stuff like Friday the 13th or Bernard Herrmann. It was a really excellent score, and it was his first score. This was Christopher Young's first score he ever did, and he just knocked it out of the fucking park. I mean, it's really it's really an impressive first-time score, I thought. And overall, also there was a unique element to the plot I liked. Spoiler, where the killer turns out to be the jokey prankster guy. I thought that was unique. How often does that happen? That's like if in Friday the 13th Part 3, Shelley is the killer and ends up being the killer. Of course, you'd be upset because Jason isn't the killer, it's Shelley. But take Jason out of the equation, and if it was just a typical slasher without Jason, but he had the Shelley character and he was a killer, I thought that was different. I saw it coming, but I still like the fact that they, went that route. It was definitely a little bit unique. I mean, I thought you could do a lot worse for $90,000. And plus, I thought there was a little bit of decent gore, especially the drill kill, where this guy gets drilled through his head. It's not particularly the most goriest movie. Well, when I think about it, I'm like, why was this movie censored? Like, really, this is pretty tame. This is really tame. I don't know why the censors flipped out over this. I mean, it was almost considered a video nasty. That's how violent they thought it was. I'm like, even the people in the UK, like, well, what? This isn't even that gory. I don't understand why. But mainly, the main reason why the film, to me, is just okay, is a time waster at best for me, is because the characters, except for the killer, Craig, who I actually liked the guy. I thought he was the only actor in the film that I thought actually was having fun, actually gave a shit about the movie he was in, played by Stephen Sachs. And I mean, Laurie Lapinski was okay as Joanne, but at the same time, I thought she was kind of miscast at first. As the film went along, and she did her best Shelley Duvall impersonation at the end of the film, she did a good job playing scared. But as this film went along, I could deal with her. But in the beginning, I just thought it was just, well, why is she the lead? I understand you need an adult presence for this film's plot, which is it's a very simple plot too. It's just a bunch of people, a teacher or a supervisor played by Laurie Lapinski plays a character named Joanne, and she's supervising this group of college students who are helping her close down this dorm. That's basically it. They're closing down this dorm because it's going to get torn down. And so they're cleaning it up and closing, doing all this stuff to help close it down so it can get torn down and a new dorm can be built in its place or something else or whatever. And so that's the setup. And there's this creepy guy who looks like fucking Art Garfunkel. Like I call him Sideshow Garfunkel. It's Sideshow Bob, mixed with Art Garfunkel. He's got a Jufro and everything. And he's kind of a creepy guy, goes around, rummages through the trash, who kind of hangs around the dorm. And he's a guy who a lot of people assume is a killer, but I knew right at the bat he wasn't. And the characters is John Hammett, played by Woody Roloss. And so you have this group of college students with Joanne, played by Stephen Sachs as Craig, David Snow as Brian, Pamela Holland as Patty, who I thought was a horrible actress. Dennis Eli plays Bobby Lee Tremble, is a very brief role, and he's this guy who was supposed to help fix something at the college or the dorm room or something, or he was going to buy the tables from her, and then he turns down his wife one night. He turns down her titties because literally she's like, "What? It's 2:00 in the morning. Why are you leaving? Where are you going?" "I'm going for a drive." "Why'd you stay home and be with me?" She takes off her top. And he just takes one look. It's like, nah, I'm going up for a drive. Like, wow, that's a dead marriage. It's a dead marriage. And he ends up getting killed in the end because some dumbass cops think he's the killer, so they shoot him. And so I'm like, you should have just stayed home and played with your wife's titties. You should have not gone for that drive, and you should have just stayed home and played with your wife's titties, or you wouldn't be dead. That's the one time where playing with titties would have saved your life, and you didn't do it. Damn, man, you fucked up. But anyway, so I did chuckle at that because it was just ridiculous. It's like you could still be alive if you played with your wife's titties. Come on, you played with some titties, you'd still be here. But no. But anyway. And then you have the first ever role by Daphne Zuniga as a character named Debbie. She's briefly in the film, and then she's supposed to leave to go with her parents, and then she and her parents end up being pretty much the first people killed. Unless you count the fucking random guy in the beginning of the movie who's hiding in the bushes and gets his hand cut in half. I don't know who the fuck this guy is or what the fuck he had to do with the film. It was just, I guess the directors were like, we need to start the movie off with a bang. I have to admit, it kind of did get me interested, but at the same time, I'm like, who the fuck was that guy? And then, of course, the movie opens up with these... It's really kind of strange, because the movie opens up with a bunch of college students talking about a toga party, and then you cut to the party, which is, like, really fucking boring and dull. Lamest party ever. And you get some guy who's, like, John Belushi, is a John Belushi wannabe. He looks like John Belushi, but he's nowhere near as much fun to be around. And... then you get to Joanne, and she's boring, bland character. It's like, why is she the lead? I'm like, Daphne Zuniga. I'm like, cool, Daphne Zuniga. I like Daphne Zuniga. Princess Vespa from Spaceball. She was great in The Fly 2. I really like Daphne Zuniga. And here she should be the lead. She has the most talent out of all the actresses in the film. She also has the most spunk, the most charisma, and she's the one that gets killed first. Why? It doesn't make any sense. This is a slasher movie. Why is the English teacher, or whoever the hell she is, the lead? No offense to older women, but why is she the lead in this movie? Doesn't make any sense. Why is the camp counselor? It'd be like in a Friday the 13th movie if the fucking camp counselor was the lead instead of the teenagers. It doesn't make any sense to me. So, yeah, Daphne Zuniga dies. She gets run over by a car, by her parents' car. First people who die are her parents. Her dad gets killed by the killer with a bat with some nails in it, which I'm like, did you steal that from Bart? Steal it from Peter Weller and of unknown origin? Gotta give that back to him so we can fucking kill that rat. The furry fucker. But anyway, it kills the guy, and it's a decent kill. And then he strangles Debbie's mom because he hides in the back seat of their station wagon and strangles her. Really not memorable kill, just one of those whatever kills. Then he ends up knocking out Daphne Zuniga and runs her over. It's really not much of a kill either, because you just see like a little bit. You just see a car here. The wheel just drives over something, and then blood sprays. That's it. It's really not much of anything. Looks more like tomato paste to me, anyway. And then you cut to the boring, bland fucking characters, other than Craig, who I kind of have fun with. And I find out he's a killer. And then at the end of the movie, he gets away with it, and I'm kind of like, I don't mind, because I actually kind of like the guy. Yeah, he's a killer, but fucking, at least he's entertaining. But anyway, because it wasn't one of those movies where I was upset at the ending being bleak, because I'm like, I didn't give a shit that much. I didn't give two shits about Joanne in the first place. So go ahead, the killer can get away with it. But anyway, I know that's sick. That's sick of me, but it's just the truth. But anyway, I mean, so yeah, the film goes on, and you just get, really lame characters hanging out, playing pool, listening to boring music, stupid, listen to lame country music. And the only time the film really starts to perk my interest is when Christopher Young's great score pops up, and then this great, bits of lighting and creepy atmosphere shows up. The film definitely does have a good, nice grit and creepy tone to it, but it definitely does, seem like the directors at least tried. Excuse me, I had to get a drink of water there. Definitely just seemed the directors at least tried, which is good. But I mean, it's just the problem is, it's like, imagine Alien. Imagine Alien if all it had was Jerry Goldsmith's great score, some great atmosphere, and only one likable character. Would that be a classic? No, it wouldn't be, because you'd be bored out of your goddamn mind. See, that's the problem. The film has a really slow pace. It's only 80-something minutes, but it feels slow because you're just waiting for a kill, and you're just waiting for Craig to say something funny or do something that's remotely entertaining. And other than that, you got to deal with Joanne, who's like your English teacher as the lead in the film. And you got to deal with fucking Debbie. No, not Debbie. Patty, who can't fucking act. And you got to deal with this really lunkhead of a guy who's just, I guess he's a jock of the film, and he gets slashed in the arm and a really lame kill. You don't even really, I guess you see the aftermath of him later, like he's all cut up, but it's not much of anything. Debbie gets put in a pot and boiled, but it's a really lame kill. All the killer does is knock her out and just puts her in a pot, closes the lid. That's it. That's it. You see her boiled body later, but that's it. It's not really much of anything. And then the fucking creepy, Sideshow Garfunkel shows up. And Sideshow Art, and he shows up, and he gets, the Joanne thinks he's a killer, and so she tries to kill him, slashes him with a machete, and he's trying to tell her, I'm trying to get you out of here. And then, of course, you find out the twist that Craig is the killer. And there's a dumb scene where Joanne goes in and finds a secret way to try to get out of the college. There's somewhere in this, like, underground in the sewers for some reason. I don't know. And there's like a fucking sign that says, beware of rats. What the fuck do rats have to do with this? And I don't give a rat's ass about the rats. And so then what happens is the killer's coming at Craig's coming after her. And I thought the actor Stephen Sachs did a decent job performance-wise. And so he's coming after her. And then for some reason she turns off the lights. She thinks if she just turns off the lights that he's just not going to go after her. And it works. She turns off the lights and he just runs away. And I'm like, what the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, tell me, what kind of advantage are you going to get if you turn off the lights in a slasher film? You're going to be blind. The killer's going to be blind too. But you're not going to be able to see the killer coming. Am I the only one that thinks that's stupid? You're not going to be able to see the killer coming. So for all you know, he could be right up against your ass and strangle you. And then what? What advantage did you have? You have none. It's better that you have the lights on so you can see the killer coming, so then you can try to fight him or try to get away. Turning off the lights on purpose doesn't make any goddamn sense, in my opinion. Just my opinion, it doesn't make any sense. But for some reason it works and he runs away. And he's like, I'm going to go get a flashlight or some shit. And then that's when the guy, the Bobby Lee Tremble guy comes in, tries to help. He gets shot by the cops, and the movie ends with Stephen Sachs' character Craig ends up knocking out Joanne and puts her in an incinerator. And the movie ends with the cop talking about, man, does that incinerator always smell that bad? It doesn't matter. They're tearing this place down anyway, and that's it. Craig got away with it. The killer got away with it. And there's a little dark humor joke at the end. And that's the end of the film. And you get, Christopher Young's great score at the end of it. And, yeah, it's not much. I mean, I forgot to mention the drill kill. The janitor guy or whatever gets killed with a drill. It's like the one really memorable kill of the entire movie. It's not even that gory. I've seen gorier drill kills in Lucio Fulci movies. I have no idea why this was censored so much. Wasn't even that gory of a movie in the first place. So, just except for, I guess, censored were just fucking prudes. But anyway, someone's got an audio commentary, which I didn't listen to, but it might be alright. It's got 2 short interviews with Christopher Young and Matthew Mungle, the makeup effects artist. They're like 7 minutes each. They're brief, but they're informative and kind of interesting. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much all you have on the Blu-ray DVD combo pack. I mean, the picture quality is okay for what it is. The sound quality I thought was kind of shitty. But other than that, I just thought the movie was just there. It was okay. It wasn't anything spectacular. It wasn't anything great. It was there. It had some good atmosphere. Had a good creepy score by Christopher Young. It had a unique element to it with the jokey prankster guy being the killer. But other than that, it really needed more interesting characters. It just really I thought it did. I thought it needed more interesting, fun characters. It needed more of a fun vibe to it. It took itself a little bit too seriously, and it really didn't need that. I mean, you have the jokey guy being the killer. It did not need to be that serious. And overall, just, it's there, but it's not anything I would say is great. Would I watch it again? It depends. Doing like an 80s slasher thing, or I have to re-review all of the movies Jeffrey Obrow and Stephen Carpenter have done. But, other than that, it's not one of my favorites they've done. But I'm glad I watched it once, and I'm glad I got it for my collection. But other than that, I really don't know what to say about The Dorm That Dripped Blood. Except it's a decent... It's a so-so slasher. It's watchable, but that's it. That's it. It's just a watchable slasher with some interesting elements, a good score, and some good atmosphere, but some solid directing. But that's it. It really could use an infusion of levity, some fun, and some really good likable characters. Because a lot of these characters weren't necessarily unlikable because they were douchebags. They were just unlikable because they were uninteresting. So I really don't know what to say about the film except that it's rated out of 5 stars. And I'll give it 3. Like I said, it's okay. That's what when I give something 3 stars, that means it's just okay. It's there. It's mediocre. It's okay. Wouldn't say I like the film, and I wouldn't say I hate it. It's in the middle. So and those are kind of hard films to review. But anyway, that's how I feel about the film. But I really don't know what to say about the film except thanks for watching my review. And I will see you guys later. See ya.